Good morning. Authorities yesterday said they had seized over 8 tons of hashish on Ibiza, which they said was the biggest ever bust of the drug on the Balearic Islands. Customs agents on a routine patrol came across 3 vans that were driving with their lights off overnight Sunday in the north of the island, so the tax office, which is responsible for customs, said in a statement. The drivers of the 3 vans braked abruptly, causing their vehicles to collide, and their occupants fled on foot, the statement said, adding the suspects remained unaccounted for. Customs agents found 216 bags containing 8.3 tons of hashish inside the vehicles. The authorities suspect the traffickers were using Ibiza as a temporary reception for hashish, which they then distributed across Europe. Customs agents have observed a rise in hashish smuggling in the Mediterranean, especially the Balearic Islands, the statement said. The drugs are usually transported to the archipelago aboard ultra-fast inflatable boats from North Africa. A British teenager who died in a fall at a Lanzarote hotel on Tuesday was on holiday with his parents, it emerged yesterday. Well-placed sources said his mum and dad went with him to hospital after he was rushed from the scene, seriously hurt, before eventually succumbing to his injuries in hospital. More details began to emerge about the horror plunge as police confirmed he was being treated as a tragic accident. The alarm was raised at the 3-star Galleon Playa Apart Hotel at 7:30 a.m. The British victim, an 18-year-old who has not been named, died in hospital in Arrecife around 11:30 a.m. on the same day. A source close to the investigation said this was an accident that wasn't alcohol-related or linked to any improper behaviour on the part of the teenager, like climbing between balconies. An investigation is ongoing, but foul play has been ruled out. An acting Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, yesterday called for a halt and humanitarian ceasefire in the Israeli-Hamas war to allow for the urgent introduction of humanitarian aid in Gaza in a manner that is sympathetic, permanent and proportionate to the extraordinary needs of the Palestinian people. The call for a ceasefire comes amid intense debate among EU countries ahead of a summit today about whether to call for a humanitarian pause or humanitarian pauses in the conflict to allow aid into Gaza. The EU has no direct military involvement, but does have some regional sway through relief efforts, with the European Commission saying the EU is the biggest donor of aid to the Palestinians. The French President Emmanuel Macron yesterday said France was sending a Navy ship to support hospitals in the Gaza Strip. Sanchez noted that his government had firmly condemned Hamas's attacks in Israel and defended the country's right to legitimate defence, adding that Madrid has taken note also of the deaths of thousands of Palestinian civilians during the past 2 weeks. He also reaffirmed his country's support for the United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, whose resignation Israel is demanding. That's the latest from TRE. I'm Bob James.